Hi guys and welcome back. I finally found the time to make another video. The last one was already 2 months ago and a lot of stuff happened. So I would say let's check it out. Let's check out the last video, what the ideas were back then and what happened since then. I try to make it as quick as possible, but it's a lot of stuff, so yeah, we just get through with it. So the last video, the idea was that we might have seen a fake out in Bitcoin. And it was also during the time of the big crash, the tariff crash of the stock market, the S&P 500. And that was the last video from 2 months ago. Quite happy with this one. So I would say let's check out the ideas back then and compare what we see right now and what we can expect for the future. So that was the idea for the general market. I just played a clip from the last video. And if we use the same metrics like the daily cycle low with 10% variance, then we see that here this low was on day 168. So in timing, if you only look at the monthly time frame, then this would still be in the 10% tolerance from the 160 days. So maybe this was just a late daily and weekly cycle low. But these daily cycles all fit pretty good, so not that sure about this. But if you divide the stock market, the SPY, with the money supply, so the M2 money supply, then you get this like a divided chart, and we can see that it's extremely similar to back in the day before the dot-com bubble, before 2000. So we moved up and then had a sharp move down before getting a few higher highs. So the stock market divided by the money supply. And the structure right now is extremely similar, almost one-to-one. We had the exact same level here, and back in the day we dropped down 24%, and now with the tariff crash it was 22%, so almost the same. And I overlaid this pattern here, and as you can see with this bounce, we already bounced up quite a bit. So maybe that could be a hint that we have one more higher high, a little bit more blow off top for the next weeks and months before then crashing down. Okay, so that was the last video from 2 months ago. So let's check out what happened. So I think the last video was, the price was somewhere around here. So right after the big crash, pumped back up to the same level and then trading around here. And the idea was, yeah, we broke this daily and supposedly weekly cycle low, but this low, crash low, could have been also in the weekly cycle time frame. And also with the SPY and the money supply, it was a really similar pattern to last time, as you've seen in the clip right now. And so far what happened after the video posted, we've seen now 2 months of really nice bounce back, and it follows this fractal really well. So it's really nice to keep a look on this one. And on the SPY chart, we also moved up, and I found from the last start of the bear market 2022, I found this fractal, and we really, it was really close, the price action, to the last time, up until here, up until this point. And this was a really important point to watch because it's the 786 Fibonacci level, and it would be also perfectly fitting with this fractal to then reject here, go down, and then continue with the bear market. But what happened? We actually closed multiple closes above and moved higher, and also have higher lows and higher cycle lows also. So in theory, when you close and break above the 786, it should be new all-time highs. So for the stock market, that's the base case. Also in the last video, I said it's still a possibility, which is a bit rare, but it also happened in the past, that we get new higher highs for the stock market, but then also for the next weekly and monthly cycle low, new lower lows. So basically like this, up here, and then still lower than here. Still, it's possible, it's not that common, but keep that in mind. But so far in the medium term and short term, we can expect new all-time highs. The cycle half cycle low was just here, and the next cycle low should be around mid of June. So that's the basic bias for the stock market. So let's look at Bitcoin now. What the idea was back then. This would be also a perfect retail fake out move. And one thing that's interesting is this reminds me a lot to this ETF fake out from the price structure. So what happened is we got the ETF confirmation here, and then also this was also a failed daily and I think even a failed weekly cycle low. I don't have all the arrows, but structurally this one makes a lot of sense. If you look here, like we had a move up, then we failed the cycle low from before, then we chopped for a few weeks, like 1 week or 2 weeks before breaking out. I think I even let this here on the chart because it's a good idea. So maybe just like this, a little bit of chop, maybe grinding down with the market. If the market goes down into the 7th of May, so the FOMC meeting, maybe we can even mark this also. Yeah, it's also here in the time frame for the next cycle low. So maybe it's even something like, yeah, like this pattern, move down here, maybe a little move up, and then finding another low. So it's looking. Alright, so that was the last video for Bitcoin, and I'm really happy with the last video in general. So let's see what happened since then. So basically, that was the thumbnail. The idea was that we have a fake out similar to another pattern in the past, failed daily cycle but fast recovery, and then break off of this resistance line and then move up higher, and that's basically more or less what happened. It didn't follow the fractal one-to-one, of course, but the general idea was correct. We moved up and are now consolidating here. So let's look at the main chart I use. So I zoom out again. Yeah, what happened? We moved back down. We had here this critical time, which I thought looked like a fake out, and since then we are back, made new all-time highs here, but are now consolidating in the last 1 month or last few weeks. But overall Bitcoin is looking pretty good, especially also when you look at the SPY. So in combination looks great. So let's check out the shorter time frame for Bitcoin. As you can see, we had this breakout just like in the macro. Like we had a daily cycle low here and had lower prices here. So just like in the bigger picture back here, we have the same thing going on in the shorter term time frame. So it might actually also be the same, that we have a fake out here and now move up. We also just had the wick down here, now the candle close, and saw a really nice move to the upside. So maybe it's even a half cycle inversion, and this is the actual cycle low, and now we move up. If you see, we look at the move here, we are currently at 786 and are not able to break above, so it would not surprise me if we can just see some consolidation here to the next cycle low, which would be to the 5th of July, or if we break up and see new all-time highs. So the 786 is an important level to watch right now. So generally, a really funny thing and interesting thing is Bitcoin dominance, because everyone is calling for altcoin season, and so far the dominance is just going higher. And we are currently in the macro move down from here to here. We are now back at the 786 Fibonacci level for the Bitcoin dominance. And if you want to see altcoin season, it's really important that we don't get macro closes above here, so weekly closes or a lot of daily closes. And if you want to have an altcoin season, you really want to see us getting rejected here and moving down, and especially also, as you can see, the cycles are really in a strong upward move. So for a good altcoin season, you want to see rejection here, resistance, and then also breaking the last cycle low and also breaking the support trend lines. And if you can see this, then it's a good indicator for buying also opportunity in altcoins. If it breaks above the 786, as you know, in the theory, if we get weekly closes above here, then it's likely that we also get a new high from this move. So get higher than this high, and then, yeah, it would seem to indicate that we get even higher Bitcoin prices. And actually this time is a bit different because we now have the Bitcoin ETFs. So there's a lot of capital flowing only in Bitcoin, and it cannot rotate into altcoins as in the last cycles. So maybe it's different and we just get a move up in Bitcoin dominance. So right now 786, you can draw it in your chart, it's really important to watch. And if you see really breakdowns here, then that's a good look for alts. If we see a breakout, then it calls for more, even higher Bitcoin dominance. So with this move up in Bitcoin dominance, the altcoins don't look that good. Let's check out XRP. It's actually the one that's holding up the best, I think, or it's one of the best and holding up. We had this move up here, strong move up here, and now consolidating for a long time, but it's holding up pretty great. We talked about this liquidity zone, which we tapped, and we now have sort of an inverse head and shoulders, not quite, but move down here, then a lower move down here, and we backtested this low here. And if Bitcoin can break out, and also depending on what the dominance is doing, we can find a cycle low maybe also on the 5th of July for XRP. If we can see breakouts here and a move up with the market and the Bitcoin, then we might see after this long consolidation another strong move up with XRP. For Curve Finance, CRV is not looking great. We had this move up, then back down to the liquidity zone, just tagged it as we mentioned in videos before, then had some moves up, higher highs, higher lows, but are currently going down again, together with the Bitcoin dominance going up. So altcoins are not looking too great right now and are currently like breaking down here. The next low should be also around beginning of July. And what is interesting to look at is the CRV Bitcoin pairing. So we have a weekly demand zone here, and I think so the last time we didn't quite catch it, we front ran it, and now are going down. So maybe it's an interesting time if we can get to the weekly liquidity zone to look here for buys for CRV, and also in combination with looking at Bitcoin dominance. If we see breakdowns in dominance and also CRV Bitcoin catching this level, then it might be interesting to get some CRV positions. For Link, the same, just like most altcoins, not performing that great. We had a cycle low here, the next one would be in 80 days. And yeah, depending on Bitcoin and also Bitcoin dominance and the market, let's see what happens. It should go up because we just had the cycle low, but we will see what happens with the market and with Bitcoin dominance. One thing that's important to mention is the VIX. So with the big spill with the tariff news, we had a huge spike up, and since then with the recovery of the market, VIX has gone down a lot. But I still think that VIX could be one of the best trades of this year. If we can see a few higher highs and a blow of top and get low VIX prices, possibly down in this area here, like the the green zone here, then I'm really interested in buying a lot of VIX positions here for a move down, black swan event maybe. So it's interesting. Hope to see the market going up, VIX going down for a bit more, and then it's a nice idea to get some positions. Then, which I forgot last time, GameStop is doing interesting things. They did 2 offerings now. I had an earnings call, which was quite okay, but did another offering for I think 2.7 billion, sorry. So the stock moved down a lot again, and maybe that's now the pattern of GameStop. They have bond offerings to buy Bitcoin or to get money. The stock plummets and then it recovers again, and then the next bond offering is announced. So maybe GameStop is now consolidating like this. The market cap is right now I think around 10 billion, yeah, and they have 9 billion in cash. So I think the downside should be kind of limited. We might see a gap fill here, move to the upside until next earnings, and then maybe again a bond offering. So it could be that we see some oscillation here, and maybe that's an opportunity for short-term trades. So as you just saw in the video, we talked about that it's likely for gold to do a left translation. I think the video was around here. I didn't expect gold to go that high, but we had a top before the half point, just as we thought, and then we went down and perfectly tagged the 382 Fibonacci level. So you see the cycles in combination with Fibonacci is a really nice tool to have an understanding what's going on. And since then you see that's the weekly cycle low. It's held up really strong and broke out of this resistance line. Is currently in a daily cycle low time frame, so maybe that's already the low, or we get another low or back test of this, and then it's looking really great for a move up in gold. The same for silver. The last video we talked about, we were around here, I think. The idea was chop and then move down in the cycle low. It was not that deep, but we chopped around, had a cycle low and then a move up, just as we thought with this line. And currently we are also at a cycle low time frame for silver. Could be in already and could be for a really nice move up. So gold and silver are looking great. Also the mining stocks are looking great. So I expect the precious metals to move up in the future. Alright, that's it for this video. From now on I hope to be able to make more videos, one each week maybe. I hope you have a great week and see you soon. Bye bye.